making the headlines for this morning. And please, by all means, would love for you to be part of the conversation. So you can join in by either calling or sending us a WhatsApp message. You can also share your thoughts on our Facebook page. Now, to call our direct line, you can call us on 0808 704 1217. Let me take that call line one more time: 0808 704 1217. To text us on WhatsApp or send us a voice note on WhatsApp, the number to text us on is 0901 615 0614. Let's take it again: 0901 615 0614. This is also me taking our time to shout out to every one person who takes our time to be part of this program. We appreciate you. Recently we've been getting new callers joining in. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Please keep being part of this program. Now please settle in. Let's get into today's headlines together. All right, as usual, we're going to begin by just running through all of the headlines that made it to the front pages this morning. We're beginning with what's on Punch newspaper, and the headline reads, Lakurawa, Nigeria, neighbors begin offensive against new terror group. This one is on Punch newspaper. Lakurawa, Nigeria, neighbors begin offensive against new terror group, and that's on Punch newspaper this morning. Moving forward to Vanguard, a tax reform bill will kill tertiary education. ASU wants FG. Tax reform bill will kill tertiary education. ASU wants FG, and that's on Vanguard this morning. Now, still on Vanguard, marketers may assess petrol from PH refinery this week. This is coming from Ipman, and that's in Vanguard newspaper. Marketers may assess petrol from PH refinery this week, and that's on Vanguard newspaper. This is coming from Ipman. Now, moving forward, still on Vanguard, NSA, any threats to Nigeria's security will face justice. That's in Vanguard. Any threats to Nigeria's security will face justice, and that's in Vanguard this morning. Still on Vanguard, taxation, FCT IRS gives 2-week deadline to 10,000 high earners. That's in Vanguard. On the taxation issue, FCT IRS gives 2-week deadline to 10,000 high earners. This one is on Vanguard this morning. Now, still on Vanguard, Nigeria, Pakistan reserved to boost food production. This one is on Vanguard. Nigeria, Pakistan are reserved to boost food production. That's on Vanguard newspaper. Still on Vanguard, I'll go after bad Nigerians. They are in trouble. Tinubu threatens. This one is on Vanguard. I'll go after bad Nigerians. They are in trouble. Tinubu threatens. This one is on Vanguard this morning. Now, moving forward to Premium Times. ASU, other unions commence indefinite strike at Lagos University. Is on Premium Times this morning. ASU, other unions commence indefinite strike at Lagos University. This one is on Premium Times this morning. Now, moving forward to Tribune, 2027, no vacancy in Aso Rock until 2031. Now, SGF Akume on this one, 2027, no vacancy in Aso Rock until 2031. This is coming from SGF Akume. This one is on Tribune this morning. Moving forward, still on Tribune, reforms to revitalize economy. Shatima on this one, and is on Tribune. Now, that's all of the headlines for this morning, and as usual, when we come back, we're going to take it one at a time. Please be sure to be part of the conversation by either calling in or sending us a voice note or text on WhatsApp. Let me just roll out the call lines one more time. To call us directly, 0808 704 1217, 0808 704 1217. That's our call line. And to text us via WhatsApp or send us a voice note, 0901 615 0614, 0901 615 0614. We're also on social media. We're streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube at Bright FM Abuja. All right. Good morning, Mrs. Celeste. Mrs. Celeste is in the studio this morning. Good morning, Mrs. Happy
Good
New Week.
morning.
How was your weekend?
Very well.
Did you have a great weekend? Did you have a great weekend?
Yeah, it was great. My weekend was great. Very fantastic.
All right. Thank you so much for being part of the program this morning. I appreciate you.
You're welcome.
So we're going to begin with this conversation on Punch newspaper this morning. Let's just look into the main news stories. Now, the headline reads, Lakura, Nigeria neighbors begin offensive against new terror group. The Nigerian army has commenced joint patrols with its counterpart in Chad, Niger, and other neighboring countries to contain the cross-border threats posed by the Lakurawa terrorist group. Now, the collaborative efforts aims to restrict the movement of the group, which has been linked to heinous criminal activities in northern Nigeria and its neighbors. The Lakurawa group, affiliated with terrorists in the Sahel, particularly from Mali and Niger Republic, has been a national security challenge since its first audacious attack in November 4th. Now, the group has been operating primarily in Sokoto and Kebbi states, exploiting Nigeria's porous borders to evade capture. According to a security expert, the porous borders between Sokoto state and neighboring Niger Republic have contributed significantly to the rising insecurity in the states. The experts noted that most of the insecure communities in Sokoto share borders with either another state or country, now making it challenging for security personnel to secure these areas. In response to the escalating threat, the federal government has planned to deploy additional military personnel to affected areas. Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, confirmed that joint patrols with neighboring countries have commenced to block the loopholes that led to the penetration of the news sector. Senior military personnel in the 8th Division of the Nigerian Army also confirmed the security strategy, stating that troops from the division have established a temporary camp in some of the areas affected by Lakurawa. The Sokoto state government has expressed frustration over the difficulty of containing the group due to its weak borders. However, the special advisor on security matters to the Sokoto state governor, Colonel Ahmed Usman, retired, had assured that the state is doing everything possible to ensure peace returns to the troubled communities. He commended the troops of the Nigerian Army for their efforts in dealing with the Lakurawa group, noting that there has been an improvement in the security situation. Good morning once again, Mr. Celeste. Now, this is, the new updates regarding the issue of insecurity. It was last week that, we a bit long because of the explosives that were planted on the road. I think that was also a Zamfara state,
Yes,
and it exploded and it caused, loss of lives. And, we kept talking about how that the insecurity in the country at the time, especially with this new sect, emerging, needs a lot of attention. And severally, we've called for a state of emergency on insecurity. But now we're looking at the Nigerian army, trying to join forces with, its counterparts in Chad and Niger to combat this.
That's a good move, because I've been expecting this all along, because we have, and over the time, talked about how most of these guys are not Nigerians.
Yes.
How they just in fact, I was telling you the other time how even in Abuja here, there are some guys that when they speak their Hausa, they call Hausa, will tell you that this is not
the Hausa language.
The Hausa language I'm brought up with. So most of these guys, they are not Nigerians, and it is because of the porosity of our border that they can easily move in. Now that Nigerian army is joining forces with the neighboring with the bordering Chad and all that, maybe hopefully we can combat them and establish a fierce security at the borders, so that we curb how people penetrate into these nations. How you can imagine when this Lakurawa came up, we heard that it was even farmers that begged them to come, which means these farmers, they because they see them coming in freely, they now beg. So these guys, they come into the country anyhow, and because this is not their country, they can do anything and get away. One thing I don't know is when will Nigeria get to the point that before somebody comes into Nigeria, we check who is this person. where is your passport? These guys, they don't even know what passport is. They just come into this country and they move freely. Not only coming into, of course, I have friends that when they sneak into European countries, sometimes you hear them being repatriated because they were caught
At the
street.
border.
Not at border. Some of them are on the
streets.
And when they inquire, police inquire, they don't have papers. They repatriate them straight away. But in Nigeria, everybody moves freely and comes in anytime, goes out anytime, and that is why they can have mind to come and perpetrate this. So joining forces with the other countries, I believe, is a step in the right direction.
And regarding the matter of insecurity, this is not the first time that people will suggest that the border be paid attention
Exactly.
to. And if you ask me, this is really coming late. In as much as it is a good start, this measure a long time ago, because when the issue of the paying attention to our border, when it came up, was also when the kidnapping thing was very rampant in Kaduna and several parts of the country. But again, since it's coming now, it's a fantastic development, especially because it's also going to curb insecurity and save the lives of the people.
Now, my concern is, okay, fine, just like I said, it's a good development, but my concern is, are they going to sustain security at the borders, or are we going to just fight Lakrawa comes down and we go to sleep,
that's
and another group now comes up. So I expect that with this, maybe if our eyes have been opened, because I don't know if our eyes have been opened, if our eyes have been opened enough to know that we need to pay attention to borders, I think this should be the right time to start doing something about our borders.
That's okay. And they've also mentioned that the part of the security strategy in place at the time is that some of the troops, they've established some troops in some divisions around the affected places. There are some camps, some temporary camps, in some of the areas that are affected by this Lakurawa individuals. I don't think temporary camps will solve it.
Yes.
And it's not just for Sokoto and Kebbi states. We've heard that these people have infiltrated Kaduna also,
yes.
and part of Niger State, So I don't think that, because these people they just came in new, they are new threats, they need to make sure that they understand that this is not where you're supposed to stay. You guys need to leave, whether you like it or not. And establishing temporary camps might want to curb it in one way or the other, but these people have eyes and ears everywhere, so it also makes that maybe when you fight this first set of people and you go back, they might want to also re-strategize and come back.
We are known for this, our fire brigade approach. If it is one man, something happens, we just make noise about it and we go to, look at it, temporary camp. Why not, as in reinforce our borders, thorough reinforcement at all borders across, not only in Sokoto, across all the states, all the bordering states of Nigeria. Make sure that these borders are not porous.
Yeah, because even the Sokoto state government has come out to say that these borders are weak.
Yes, everybody, we know that. People come into this country, sneak into the country at will. Nobody's checking the borders, so they need to reinforce the borders and make sure this is checked once and for all.
Exactly. Let us also take our time, because since the issue of the Lakurawa came on board, you would agree with me that the military have been on the matter. And they've been fighting it heads on, even from when they started making their investigations, intelligence and all of that, and also fighting them. And this is also commending the troops of the Nigerian army, because the Sokoto state government have also noted that there's been an improvement in the security situation, and we're saying thank you for doing that. We're expecting that you do more,
and that this continues. It is not a temporary measure. Let there be permanent security at our borders.
Exactly. So that's just basically it, because when a concern in security, we're looking at loss of lives, we're looking at loss of properties, and these are like the government of the day, and they need to pay attention to it. Now let's move forward to this next story on Vanguard newspaper, and it's based on the tax reform bill. Now, the headline reads, "Tax reform bill will kill tertiary education, ASU warns federal government." Let's look into the main story. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, has strongly warned the federal government against its proposal to phase out the Tertiary Education Trust Fund by 2030. Now, ASU National President Emmanuel Sodeke argued that this move would not only negate the efforts invested in establishing TED Fund, but also make tertiary education unaffordable for the poor. The proposed Nigerian Tax Reform Bill 2024, currently before the National Assembly, includes provisions that will reduce TED Fund's funding, eventually allocating 100% of the development levy to the Nigerian Education Loan Fund by 2030. Now, Sodeke emphasized that TED Fund has been instrumental in supporting public universities, providing infrastructure and academic development. He noted that 90% of physical structures in universities, polytechnics, and colleges of education are products of TED Fund. Now, the president appealed to the federal government to reconsider its plan, suggesting alternative funding mechanisms for NEL funds, such as allocating a percentage of value-added tax. He warned that phasing out TED Fund will threaten tertiary education in Nigeria, rendering the efforts to establish the fund futile. ASU expressed concern that the proposed student loan scheme would burden poor students with debt, making education unaffordable. He also argued that grants rather than loans should be provided to support education. He emphasized that the government's plan would undermine public education, jeopardizing Nigeria's future. The union urged the government to prioritize education funding, upholding the legacy of TED Fund, which has inspired several initiatives in other African countries. Zele, if you ask me, the tax reform bills have been under a lot of criticisms.
Yes.
Some people bought into the idea, while there are some other persons who are saying there's some things that needs to be adjusted. And now ASU has also come out with their displeasure, speaking out on their displeasure regarding to this tax. And if you ask me, what they are saying is not totally, out of place. We've seen how over the years TED Fund has contributed to making sure that there are basic infrastructure in our, both the tertiary education, both primary schools, all over. So, and the idea or the Nigerian Education Loan Fund, a lot of people did not also buy into the idea. You're supposed to take loan for, and then when you're done with your NYSC, you start paying back. And a lot of people have argued that, a lot of core members don't even have jobs. There are no employments. How are you going to, pay back the fundings or the loans that you took from the government? So now ASU is arguing that investing 100%, of the development levy to Nigerian Education Loan Fund is not really going to help. Is that they need to make sure that establishing TED Fund is still on board, because it makes it easy for tertiary education. I don't know, what you think about that.
You asked me my thoughts. I disagree with ASU on this one.
Okay.
Why? Yes, their points are valid. I agree with them that the essence of TED Fund was genuine to make sure there is infrastructural
exactly
development
and academic development.
Development. But are we seeing that?
Oh yes, we are.
We are seeing that.
Yes, for if you go around, schools, different schools, different tertiary institutions, even secondary schools, most of the infrastructures there, the physical structures in these universities, you just see it. It's TED Fund. Yes, it's TED Fund project.
The point is this: how do you know how much that is going into TED Fund, and how many structures have worsened?
Okay.
That my argument.
Okay.
So the essence of the federal government, from my own perspective, trying to take out this is that it's just like subsidy. The money going into it and the physical result we are seeing are not commensurate. I don't know if you get my point.
I'm with you.
So if government is saying, okay, I think TED Fund, the money going there is too much. For me, what ASU should be fighting for is for their autonomy. Let universities generate their money, build their structures, and account to the federal government. Not the federal government making one fund available for people to embezzle, because that is the problem of Nigeria. I think this is one of the things this government want to stop, and that's why people are fighting it headlong. The government came to take away subsidy. Yes, we are seeing the effect. We are all crying. But I know that if you understand what was going on before the removal of subsidy, you will want to pass through this suffering if at the end it will yield the expected result. The same thing with that. Do you know how much that is going into it that we don't account for? So if governments have an alternative to say, okay, instead of TED fund, let's put it aside. If there is an alternative, that is the only question I've not had an answer to. If there's an alternative to TED fund where the universities can still develop infrastructurally and still maintain excellence in academic, then let's go by that. Then the issue of loan.
Yes.
The issue of loan, people it's not only in Nigeria. There are a lot of, you will agree with me that there are a lot of poor children who are very, very brilliant. And it's unfortunate that most of these poor children that come from the poor background are always brilliant. I don't know if it is
people have argued grants for them rather than loans.
Grant.
Because we're looking at, part of the reasons why, this idea for the loan fund came up is to make it, education available for all underprivileged people. And we're looking at, paying back the loan.
Now, let me tell you why grants. This is Nigeria, and I believe the president he knows us. He knows. If you say grant, I've told you about one grant by federal government that somebody just called me. I should just get numbers or just get people's account number and send to me. Up to today, I've not heard anything about it. People will siphon that grant and you will never hear about it. But if it is loan, nobody will want to take a loan and siphon it because you'll be called to come and pay back. So I think the loan is to make sure that the money gets to the right person. If you make it a grant, my dear, this is Nigeria that we are, and we know what will happen to the grant. It will just go through some account into one pocket, and we'll forget about it.
Yeah, I agree with your arguments, but you see, the idea of phasing out this tertiary education trust fund, it doesn't really sit well with me, especially because visibly, I understand what you're saying, but visibly we've seen the efforts that TED Fund, has made in making sure that there's proper infrastructure in our our tertiary institutions, and also I feel like they've really done well with funding. So far so good in universities across the country, secondary schools across the country, primary schools, universal basic education, across the country. Phasing it out is a challenge.
How accountable has it been over the years? You think subsidy was not helpful to Nigerians? But this is a country that no matter how beautiful your idea is, there is always a way to abuse it. There is always a way to frustrate it. So president must have seen how much have gone into TED fund that is not accounted for.
And how much result
they are bringing. So, and it was looking like just the subsidy that we are pushing billions into it, and the effect is like thousands is just what is getting to the streets. So instead of that, let's take it away and find an alternative to still have infrastructures in the universities.
Since the alternative is not, present at the time,
I believe there is an alternative. If they can't just phase it out without
the alternative is the Nigerian Education Loan Fund.
What I mean is, the federal government must definitely have plans to take up the infrastructural development of the universities. But instead of this TED fund money going billions into some private accounts, why not give it as loans to those to privilege who have the brain but not the pocket? Let them have access to the education.
Okay, so but now that the ASU has come out to express their concerns regarding this tax reform bill, let's hear what the the presidency would think about it, and also the House of Assembly, because I mean the tax reform bill has been under fire.
Yes, and I suspected, because Nigeria, if you read deep into the prospects of this bill, you'll see that the president and his team have very beautiful agenda for the country. But one thing which is obvious that we have seen over the years, anything that does not favor you becomes bad for all. But as far as it is to your favor, just like what happened, the moment NEPA takes light, you come out and check. If they take light everywhere, hey, you are okay.
But if there's still light
in your neighbor's house, you feel bad.
Problem.
So that is Nigerian factor. As far as it is not benefiting you as a person, whether in the right way or in the wrong way, you feel bad. But this tax reform came for a good purpose, and I believe if we follow suit, it will.
Oh yeah, if you read, just like you said, if you read through, you would know that.
This tax reform. Yes,
there's a lot that are in favor of Nigeria.
Fact, the one that attracts me most is how he put, because I've been into business and I know how my business failed. An average Nigerian youth who have this brilliant idea, want to dive into one entrepreneurship pursuit or the other, you see how it will bounce back because of a lot of obstacles you will meet as form of tax, this one. But with this tax reform, giving relief to the poor, I think it's welcome development. But the rich will always cry about this.
Let's see, still under scrutiny. Let's see how it's going to go down well at the National Assembly. Now let's move forward to the Vanguard. But before that, in case you want to be part of the conversation, let me just roll out the numbers one more time. 0808-704-1217. That's our call line. 0808-704-1217. To text us on WhatsApp, 0901-615-0614. Now, this story right here on the Vanguard, the headline reads, marketers may access petrol from PH refinery this week. This one is coming from Ipman right there. The Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria has expressed optimism that its members will be able to load products from the Port Harcourt refinery this week. The refinery, owned by NNPC Limited, commenced operations last week and is currently refining at 70% capacity. According to Ipman's public relations officer, Chief Chinedu Kadike, the refinery currently supplies only NNPC retail and a few marketers, but is expected to increase supply to independent marketers soon. Okadike also disclosed that marketers are now lifting products directly from a Dangote refinery after a deal was reached with the management, which reduced the minimum bulk purchase for marketers to 2 million liters for petrol. This development has made the market more competitive, as independent marketers can also compete with other major marketers. He also noted that petroleum products distribution has been smooth with no queues, but with some price differentials. The coming on stream of the Port Harcourt refinery is expected to reduce pressure on Dangote products, and Okadike hopes that by next week, independent marketers will have access to products from the refinery. Now, with the reduction in the exchange rate of the naira to the dollar, pump prices are also likely to drop in the coming week. Now, Okadike stressed that competition in the market has just begun, and Ipman is optimistic about developments in the petroleum industry. I don't think it's only Ipman that is optimistic. I am optimistic. Are you not?
Yeah,
we're all
optimistic. But it's very funny how we are celebrating that Port Harcourt refinery is working, something that has been a rocket science over the years. And because Dangote came and is now working.
But I mean, since it started working,
I read the news. I think yesterday or 2 days ago, that the Port Harcourt refinery have even started exporting. And I ask myself, so we have the capacity to refine even beyond what we demand. But then I ask again, if Ipman is still expecting that they may start buying from Port Harcourt, and they already have the news that they have started exporting, I don't know. What is wrong with this Nigeria? People are dying of hunger as a resultant effect of this petroleum scarcity. Now, Port Harcourt refinery is up. I expected NNPC to focus all its energy in making these products available to Nigerians first.
At a reduced
At
rate.
a reduced rate, yes. No, by the time they make it available to Nigerians, definitely it will be at a reduced rate, and Dangote will also come down because there will be competition. I expected them to flood Nigerian market first with their products and make these products available at reduced rates. For what they are, you can see the language that marketers make, not the radio.
Mr. Bright would say use of English, use English.
Yes.
But and we've also heard that they are working on other refineries.
Yes,
So
we have other refineries.
So
it's about 4.
Exactly. So at the time, in as much as it took time for NNPC to come on board, but they're on board now, right? So, and they've started refining, and we're just really hopeful that it's going to make changes, because part of the things that, the IPMAN is saying now is that pump prices are likely to drop in the coming weeks.
My question is, nobody wants to answer this question. Why have we not been refining all this while?
We don't know.
What happened?
We don't know.
Okay, we just woke up and found out that Port Harcourt refinery can be fixed again.
The conversation around that began after the Dangote refinery came on board. But again, we're here.
We are not.
Let's leave the past in the past.
Anyway, let's see what happens. Let's hope that with the NNPC now as in Port Harcourt refinery working, NNPC should do everything possible to make sure these products come at affordable price. I believe now NNPC is the one that have I'm sure they are not importing the crude oil. We have the crude oil, we explore this crude oil, we refine it. Then I don't know why it is difficult for government to make the price affordable for its citizens.
We're looking at the coming weeks, because every time we have this conversation, one thing I say is that all of this plenty English is not the business of Nigerians. I'm telling you. So because every time they are listening to conversations around the fuel price and NNPC or Dangote and all of that, what they just want to hear is fuel going to be available. One, is the price going to drop. Two, so those are the two major things. Every other thing is really not their business, because just like we've said time and time again, for every time that the fuel price drops, it impacts the prices of things.
Yes.
And it makes it affordable for the average Nigerian, and that's what we keep looking forward to. And with the festive season on board right now, if truly in the coming weeks, because we're supposed to be optimistic, right? So if truly in the coming week the pump prices drop, it's going to be a reason for Nigerians to smile.
Celebrate, yes. And the Christmas will not be, because I was talking with my mom the other day, and I was like, so what's your plan for this Christmas? He says, that's why I say you see food chop.
Okay.
Another Christmas will come.
Exactly.
That was in her work. Another Christmas will come. So people have given up hope on celebrating Christmas. We know how people used to celebrate Christmas. But it is seafood that we won't think of Christmas.
Exactly.
So let NNPC, let the federal government, whatever they need to do fast. This is a season that Nigerians need to travel. We need everything as much as possible to be available. So they should act fast.
Or we're just going to really stay hopeful and see what the coming weeks. Should be all of us there for this Nigeria. So the coming weeks we're going to see exactly what is going to happen. And moving forward to Vanguard News, but before that, let's take this one. Hey, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Abdallah. Good morning to you. Good morning, Mr. Abdallah.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I hope the weekend was nice to all of you.
Oh, yes.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
You see, let me grant this much on this issue of tax enforcement. How it has been suspended and a committee set up to correct the gray areas. I hope they will get it right. But most of the things that the northern governors and lawmakers are talking about is this insecurity first. Because they say so many people have been killed and are still being killed.
Yeah.
Now and what have you.
Yes.
The majority have been displaced from their ancestral land. Now, and though the security agencies are trying their best, but they are overwhelmed by this issue of insecurity because it has across all parts of the country. And the number are too scanty. Now, if the declaration of state of emergency is not being done, or if the National Assembly did not succeed to either initiate a bill to declare state of emergency on this insecurity, or the president did not see it fit through the executive power he has with the Federal Executive Council, then, in fact, there is a dilemma.
A serious one.
That apart, the issue of this NLPC, we heard that they have started exporting.
Yes.
That is good. But do you know, they say they can only refine this about 65,000 barrels
Per day.
So, I think the type of tool is not available on board. You know, it would be too small.
Yes. To go around Nigerians.
And other users or buyers, retailers, and what have you. So, the problem will have to be a very serious one for the Nigerian people.
Yeah.
And the price is too much on the side of this NLCC compared to that routine. Except those who are very close, like from southeast, the marketers there, they can be able to patronize it, considering the cost of transportation.
Exactly.
That is the other thing. But still, that routine is still on the high side because the money used. So, I once mentioned in this platform that if you have to travel to site and somebody places a piece of paper for you and you step on it,
You have taken a step. Yes.
Now, the most important thing, we don't have to be optimistic as at now. The likelihood that NLPC being the controller on the side of government, they cannot be able to reduce any price. Had it been the dollar reduced to maybe 900 naira to a dollar, probably that time they would say we want to do something. But do you know that in the past, the previous time, that there was that increase in the price of petroleum was because they say the dollar has risen. And immediately the dollar has risen, even if people are not aware that it has risen, they have the information. Before you know it, they have increased
the price.
But now that they know the dollar has reduced, they have not mentioned anything like we have reduced the price.
That is Nigeria for you. Yes, that's Nigeria for you.
The problem of Nigeria
Yes.
and Nigerian people. Please and please, let them do the needful. Security first.
Security first. Yes, I agree with you.
Responsibility of the federal government because they are in control of the security apparatus in the country. So please and please let them do the right thing at the right time because Nigerians are dying on daily basis and there is a wish in every part of the land, especially the northern part. Despite the fact that had a wonderful conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you and have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much, Mr. Abdallah. I appreciate you. Now, talking about, security, Mr. Abdallah is one person who is very particular, about, insecurity and also calling for a state of emergency. Now, still on the matter of insecurity. Okay, let's see if we can take this one. Hello, good morning.
Hello, sorry.
Good morning, Miss Anze. Is that you?
Yeah, I'm the one. How you doing?
Fine, thank you. Very well, thank you, Miss Anze. Please go ahead.
That's very much.
Fine, thank you.
Yeah, very well, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah, let me comment on this time recovery.
Oh, yes.
We have to look for way forward.
I'm with you.
What the government should do, look at that report on the figure, specifically to the figure. That work is to solve the problem. Remove it from the exclusive. It's no longer the work of government. Let it go to the figure. So let's take what they want to do. That end goes, that was the worst. If you like the estate, you cannot touch it. You know, you're going to the rate in general, if I actually attack your business. That's all this focus. Move on to that exclusive list. So, when it comes to that one, if you are teaching 30% of what you are teaching, especially if you are of this generation, I think the that is going to all to this thing. All the times that from the north, from the south, from the east, whatever I want to do with that, if you don't like that, I think that's the whole thing. That end goal. The president will now withdraw that's something that's out. Because the consumption of this is too much. Something addressing,
I'm with you.
they are only addressing consumption. They're not addressing production. That's it. So, you have to avoid all those things that make a move from exclusivity to cigarettes. That's that. You want NFPT. There's what they call a package. And don't be eating meat. That's a package. Anything can happen. Yes, on package. Yes, the price is reduced. Anything can happen. I think we'll not walk.
Yeah.
I always happen to tell us, I've done this one. So, just people in the white phone. So, not putting, not to have to keep choose which or no. One supply is more than demand. Or what is the of night? You let the supply from everywhere. Talking about the airport for now. So, the whole place is here. Let's go to people get this way. If you can think like, you can put a trace home. They are going to send this way in the next market. You that one have to try to go place in this way. Once people start getting fuel, the guy will start coming down. Then it start coming down, you now start talking about it. But the little one that you are producing, what will say spot and report and also be domestic consumption, that will also now. That is the fact. This the price will go up. And also, why they are foreseeing that the price will reduce? Because of that sharp, small drop in exchange rate. That's what they are saying. No, don't address that issue. Remember in 2001 when they told this GSM, when they don't want to put the Globe and NTN and so on. But by the time other people come into the business, how much are you buying?
Exactly.
These other people get come to the business of the dealer.
Exactly.
Not go place with this food, with this product. Even with that, the price now should be that. Why is that drop? Price of food in the market. Because this one is just what is local currency. This one that cooking it for others too, that dropping. You want that whole everything. But put the price of the market, people using business, SME, all of them are using these products. When they say that dropping, things are dropping in the marketplace.
Thank you so much, Ms. Anze. You know, I think I get your take on the tax reform because, Mr. Sele, you're going to also agree with me that majority, if we want, you know, on a percentage to talk about people who are in favor of this tax bill, you will know that the percentage of people who are in favor of the tax bill is greater than the people who are not in favor of the tax reform bill. And again, no matter how you want to look at it, not everybody is going to agree
Now,
with what's on the tax reform bill.
Does that clarify you on why on my stand? Thank what you said. Greater percentage of people are in favor,
Yeah,
than those that are not in favor. The same thing applies to greater percentage of Nigerians are impoverished. Greater percent of Nigerians are suffering while a little fraction are the one enjoying the resources of this country. Those who are against this tax reform bill, check it very well. In one way or the other, they are benefiting from the suffering of the common man. They are benefiting from our systems not working. They are benefiting from, as in the government policies not being adhered to strictly. You see, I think I don't know if it was here on Men's Land that I said you need to visit some of these men and see the way, as in properties, somebody will just buy cars and leave it, and for years those cars will never be driven, and they are not, nobody is asking them to. But if you are paying tax the right way, there are things you think twice before you do.
Yeah.
And those are the ones crying foul about this tax reform.
Part of the reasons why I said that is, I understand Mr. Nze's stance, but, saying that states, generate their, taxes or decide if they are going to pay tax or not, if they are going to take tax or not regarding, how they generate, maybe internally generated revenue and all of that. And there are lots of persons who are going to say no to that, and that's why I said that with the tax reform bills, as far as we're concerned, for now, majority of people are in favor of it. So it's just, I think, just a little adjustment here and there.
Exactly. And for instance, the one that's affected fund, if there was nothing captured to take the place of TED fund in the tertiary institutions, then the tax reform should be looked into to put something in place to take care of that infrastructure in the universities, and that is what we are looking out for.
Now, moving forward to Vanguard, but before that, let's just call out the phone lines one more time: 0808 704 1217, 0808 704 1217. That's our call line in case you want to get across to us via call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. John. Is that you?
This is Mr. John coming from.
Fantastic. Mr. John, we missed you last week. That's on Friday. Oh, thank you. Good morning. Go ahead. Fine, thank you.
Yeah, good morning, my brother. I get you, but that is the truth. Not at all.
Yes. Because if president is trying to do the whole school. Now that's the yesterday, they will campaign against the president, they will remove us.
Yes.
That's why anything when they cannot get the president to carry on the return and chapter, because when you're not assembly and president, you understand me?
Yeah.
You know what the chance to walk in so that you to affect. Or guys, you go affect them. Why do we need to see that? We need to see that to catch our government there. Because we never affect them. Where I'm saying this, that if they say that they're full on now, they say it's not affecting this. My sister, you will see Panova, how they will see Panova, it will affect the poor. Okay, look at the top people. Who is feeling it? Is the rich of the state of the right way?
I'm with you.
Problem. I'm with you.
Before the food in the house, run out. You will even reach like 3 years or 4 years. You want some people have to stop.
Yeah, I agree with him. In fact, I will say something about it.
It's not somebody to poor people. The country is not going to see somebody poor people. It's not going to see somebody mad. It's only the rich people is going to favor. You understand?
I'm with you.
Okay, look at what the lecturers are doing. You know that I'm not advocating for the lecture because they are because of what this situation we are facing now. All those things, they don't need to study that stuff. engineering. You go to the you can't do mechanical job. Yeah, what is the system? And the only for Nigeria is the Ministry of Agriculture. You understand? It is not for far to get to the market go by.
I agree with you.
Why is your motor break down? You're not going to put your shoes where you wear and then put the motor. Not the one where you wear.
I agree with you.
Nigeria, what we speak about, different things. Carpenter, we go carry carpenter, put medical mechanic for, we go carry mechanic, put medical iron work. That's why today in Nigeria, some of like that.
I agree with you.
If you need the proper people, the take of proper office, you won't be like this. Not so, in Nigeria, they don't job for you. There's too many people for Nigeria. Why you remove some 50 for every state, you remove subsidy for every state. This cry, when my people cry, my sister,
I agree with you.
therefore, people of president, ministers, to senator, with tear back, then they can't cry when they cry.
Not at all.
Now, what you want to consider is, because everything what you do for life, when we say people get care, if they complain, or some they complain, my brother, you are not doing the right thing. You need to say, if anything you are doing in this life, people are happy with you, things are not happy with you, my brother, you are doing the right thing. You understand? That is the level that I get now. You understand? Because
I agree with you.
you and my sister Nigeria are jumping into people. You understand? Why is the corporation company that have a
Yeah.
everybody is doing it. Jumping into people, going to their parents' destination, coming to their parents' working place. Is it proper?
It's
You understand? And the president are here, and we are saying that the point of visit is for the betterment of Nigeria. My brother, now who see the time when the thing goes better, some don't die as a process. Whenever subsidy, cash back is very difficult. Who they do? If they want to take cash, if not, if you want to reach the bank, they don't go over. Yeah, did you print me one? Don't they want your money was this bank, but this one is not.
What's wrong with Mr. John?
Yeah.
Anything was for people, anything was for people to go back, they are not doing it. Then our leaders don't have the masses in their hands. That's not the constitution. What we favor them, that's what they will. What will not favor them, they will never ever fight the king. Because I've seen them and checked it, they came back to me. No time I ever heard that president, minister, their salary has been, they are holding their salary. Okay, look at pension. Have you ever heard that any people cry about pension?
Not at all.
That is the former.
Thank you, Mr. John.
No
did
balance,
tell
my
you.
dear. I agree with you.
Thank you. He's round up, Mr. John. No, you cannot.
Now the people this program say that students go and borrow money if you want to further your education. My brother, if you borrow that money, your business don't get inside that school. I want your business to say that if you have the opportunity of collecting loan of 9 million, 10 million, and they are not going to give you. You understand the situation?
Yeah.
The government are putting on. Which is so proper.
Thank you, Mr. John. Yes, so yes, thank you. Thank you so much, Mr.
you
John.
so
I
much.
think you ended it with God will help us.
God
And
will help us. You know, he said a lot of things that resonate so much with me. Over the week, I was discussing with a friend, and he was expressing shock how he wanted to buy groundnut oil. Can you imagine? It's so surprised. I was like, are you just finding out? He said, no, my own finished, and this. I I was like, okay, like what and what are you angry with? angry with that? So in the long run, the summary is that I found out that this guy for the past 2 years, I don't know how much they sell rice. I don't know if you get it. And that is what is happening to most rich men. They want to buy rice, they can buy maybe 20 bags of rice and keep it in the store. So all this your cries, they won't understand. They don't understand why you are shouting that prices are going up or going down, because they hardly go there. And this is what's happening across board, all our big men. They want to buy rice. So when you are crying that the price is going up, they will just be looking at you and they won't understand what you are talking about. I agree with Mr. John on virtually everything he said. It is the thing is this nation. I don't know when we will see a president that will change the narratives, that will make the people, common Nigerians, to trust. Just like what one man talked about the tax reform bill. Most people who are fighting this is not because they don't understand the narrative. It's not that they don't know if it is followed as stated, that is going to be to our favor in the future. But how much do we trust this government?
So carry it out
judiciously. An average Nigerian does not trust the government. And that is a very big problem.
It is.
So the first thing I think this government any government that wants to work should do is, first of all, to reclaim the trust of the ordinary Nigerian by saying what you do and doing what you say.
Exactly. Let's move forward to Vanguard newspaper now. NSA, any threats to Nigeria's security will face justice. Let's look into the main story. The National Security Advisor, NSA, Nuhu Ribadu, has issued a stern warning that any threats to Nigeria's security, whether internal or external, will face justice. Ribadu made this declaration during the graduation ceremony of the Executive Intelligence Management Course 17 at the National Institute of Security Studies in Abuja. He emphasized that the government has zero tolerance stance towards security threats and praised the improved synergy among security agencies under President Bola Tinubu's administration. Ribadu's statement was echoed by other top officials, including Vice President Kashim Shettima, who addressed the evolving nature of global security challenges such as cyber warfare, disinformation, and climate migration. Former Niger State Governor Babangida Ali proposed the death penalty of anyone who kills security personnel, citing the increasing attacks on military and paramilitary officers. Ali also criticized state governors for over-relying on the federal government for security, urging them to take charge of local security matters. The ceremony, which saw 91 participants from Nigeria and 5 foreign countries, underscored the importance of training and collaboration in tackling Nigeria's security challenges. DSS Director General Adeola Oluwatosin expressed optimism about Nigeria's security outlook, emphasizing the success of interagency collaboration. Now, with government's commitment to improving security and synergy among security agencies, citizens can expect to feel safer in the near future. I hope this near future comes, really close, because at this point in Nigeria, nobody is safe. Nobody feels safe. Saying that or issuing a warning that any threats to Nigeria's security, whether internal or external, will face justice. Even as we speak now, right, there's threat to Nigeria's security. We keep losing our security personnel every other day.
Victory, no, now there is no threat. If there were threats, when Lakra was not threatening Nigeria, that explains why he flew out of the country with the president.
No, I don't agree with that. You can't say that the government has zero tolerance towards security threats.
You have not understood me.
I get what you said. So where would there be threat?
There is no threat yet.
Oh my God.
So because you are telling me that any threat have we not been threatened? Are we not threatened as we speak now? With Lakrawa recruiting inside Nigeria?
If there's no
coming out in the open to declare how much they give and the reward they give to whoever joins them.
Looking at it from another angle, if there's zero tolerance towards security threats, time and time again, Mr. Sele, we've heard state governors, we've heard government officials come out to say that We know people who are sponsoring insecurity. If we have zero tolerance,
no, you are going too far.
Towards security.
Was it not last week that this guy, what is that his name, from Niger State, was lamenting, almost crying, how they will call these people that are killing people, they will call them that they have been given amnesty, and they will throw party for them, and there is no tolerance.
That's Mr. Obasanjo from.
That's Mr. Obasanjo. So if you are giving them amnesty, throwing party for somebody who have killed many without any punishment, and you are telling there is zero tolerance. Oh, yeah, there is zero tolerance because they don't see what is happening as insecurity. That is why we are not doing much about it. You know, from the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. This tells you how they look at why you keep crying and they are not doing anything, because they don't see what you are seeing.
Let's take this one. Hello, good morning. Good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Can you hear me? Okay, Mr. John.
My sister. You see why that time, yeah? I didn't get up. Because people say that maybe I need for now recruit more. You understand? As I need to start for that time. They don't go and get that. The problem we have now, I tell you, because if they can't deny, just to say human rights people and that one, when they make a lie, they will do the lie to imprisonment or to one year
imprisonment.
Now, one president will come, will give us that.
That is.
Will do treaty.
Yeah. The congestion, yes.
You understand? And then the that one person will put them inside. They will do that. People go back, don't start to war.
Yeah.
You don't get many people for free to go to school.
Exactly.
Today, to get people where they come free, they don't people what's supposed to happen.
Nobody.
That one, we don't even forget them on.
You don't forget that. I think people who are born by the man, when they are there for not to go to that side. That's why they're not going to. They are good for them. Hey, we see where we go to. When to go to.
Pass you, my brother.
This country, because politicians might not be drag on them service. Because you don't go tell me, and even when they catch at it, you don't do one particular. When they go for audition, you know what happens? When they talk.
Sorry, we lost Mr. John right there, but I think that the example that he's trying to put out there is that if there are measures put in place to make sure that from the root you take this out.
I think was it why reading the story you mentioned one former governor that's proposing
death penalty for anyone who kills security personnel.
I want to disagree on that. It is not anyone that kills security personnel. Go to China. See, okay, they budget 1 billion naira, for example, for health, and you divert it, and one pregnant woman in the course of giving birth died out of that pregnancy with the child because there was no health care. How many persons have you killed? I'm just giving one instance. So diversion and embezzlement of public funds should even carry heavier punishment than death penalty.
Let's take this one. Hello, good morning. Good morning, Mr. Bala. Yes.
You see, Mama said that if anyone kills security agent, should be killed also. Well, you can do one. And any security agent that kills a civilian without any indication also be killed. That Mama jurisdiction. Now, part of the security that killed so many civilians in peaceful protest. What will do to them? One of the security agents that went to Bristol as the man and share the people in their houses with bombs. What have they done to them? Or what have they done with the other those security people that have done that? You see, if you come to the town where people are celebrating their festivity, you just throw bombs there, and so many lives lost. And after now, they have not even finished anything about it. It is only to rebuild their home. I don't know. So the material issue is that the more you listen, the less you understand, and the more you become confused. Now, if we want to fight insecurity, just like it's not even aware that the security threat, it's even beyond the security threat to Nigeria. In fact, the security is even in Panama, not security threat.
It's not a threat
It's
anymore.
not just a threat anymore.
I advise the president to declare a state of emergency and also challenge the resources there in order to fight it head on. You see? So what are we saying? In fact, we will continue to make our voices and possibly God will touch their heart so that they can lift it and then fight.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Bell. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Now, let's also look at this. The former Niger State governor criticizing state governors for over-relying on the federal government for security and urging them to take charge of local security. Now, regarding this issue, time and time again, we've heard governors call for state security, and part of the things that, people have said is that in as much as state security is okay, the governors are going to use it for their own benefit instead of the benefits of the people. And in this case, I generally don't know who else the state governors should rely on for security issues if not on the federal government.
I believe each, as we know it, each state governor is the chief security officer of his state. And every state have the commissioner of police, president in that state, with a good number of policemen, men and women attached to that state. I believe if governors are proactive enough to use these men, they shouldn't rely solely on the federal government. So just like what one guy was saying last week about the laziness, in quote, of these governors not looking, and that is even why this tax reform is having this heavy criticism, because we want the status quo, where at the end of the month the federal government dishes out the national cake, and we just share it and go back and turn to billionaires according to Oshomole. And so nobody want to think looking word and see what he can do with what he has.
Hello, good morning. Oh, okay, I think we lost that one right there. Please do well to call back 0808-704-1217. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Your name and where you're calling from? Mr. Steve. Mr. Steve from DC. Good morning to you. Very well, thank you. How about you, sir?
Last week, I talked about round leg with sweat.
Yes, sir.
We refer to what is his track record as a security officer. He has been a politician, and you don't expect him to do more than what he's doing right now. So we have people who can handle that
that security aspect very well, but they won't give them the job. Because of the conspiracy we have in this country in every facet of our life. So, now, bandit, these are just fragments of a group of people. It's not a nation. People are trying to make sure into different things. And as I speak to you, if you don't know how much money I've gone with that name of this thing, you cry for the country.
Exactly.
So, I don't know why we are doing ourselves this service. Tomorrow night, we have people have come to Nigeria. Why are they coming to Nigeria? Because we are not one. People are taking this to do. They make money out of it's from them. And we are here looking at stuff there. It's so horrible. I don't know why this country is going to be this way. I'm talking about they don't have power, they don't have peace. The security they keep them is for what?
Now that is it. The security votes they collect.
They don't cry down for me and a rich government. They don't do anything of it. Why do we have commissioner of police in this state? The commissioner of police is a senior officer. That is their job. I want to know their job in states. They'll be there quiet. People will come and kill their people, and then governments will start talking about federal. We are a very confused nation. I'm telling you the fact.
It's sad.
See,
Very sad.
this bad situation find ourselves. It's only we that can do it. Subsidy is gone on the parade ground. If you are talking about security threat, it's gone. It's better for us. Because you would have faced it. Because all these things is doing, we are not happy. The country is not safe. Then why are you moving? Why are you confident? You keep trying to pass down the whole world, and they are laughing at you. Your country is in fire. Every day, people are dying. It never happened like this before. You understand?
Yeah.
So governance is zero. This is what I'm saying. I'm talking to you as a mature man.
I understand, sir.
So what we are seeing in this country, I don't know where. I don't pity our children, but they have no future. These wicked leaders are putting this money in this country into total mess. But I bless this country with everything like even America, that is great like that. It's not as blessed as Nigeria.
I keep saying this.
So why are we people die anyhow? You know that all the guys that they send, so that they send, so this like this, they are all young boys.
Yeah.
Who have no experience. It's not training. You are able to see the training of training that only 6 months. They push you away. That's what is happening. And look at them. They're wondering. This kind of people who are fortunate to be in the checkpoint. So young. What is that? Oh, all this tax bill or no tax bill. This tax bill is affecting for everybody. Don't you go to a restaurant? Don't you go to supermarket? It's always still there. You understand?
So, but the reform bill is also saying that they're going to remove
Most of this.
VAT from.
Those are unnecessary proposal of our president. And you understand? In one way or the other, they will come out and collect that money. I don't know Nigerian leaders and people. We are so mad about this money thing. They go the money. At the end of the day, we die and living. But some die and live in foreign countries. All this while they tell us about Abacha. These are all lies. No country will change its legislation because of Nigeria. Don't take them seriously. They say no. And Colorado, when I started the exercise, they just show you. They had a job, they said that second Niger bridge, which was a natural bridge they used to correspond all our lives. You cannot go to Switzerland. They don't have any other resources that they have.
Yes.
So you want to tell and then if you are banking in Switzerland, you are the only one who has your number.
Just round up, Mr. Steve.
But they are like, America has said this, they don't send any obstacle to us. They use that to swindle our citizens. If you want to tell me that Switzerland will stop making money out of their banking loans and then ship the money back to Nigeria, it's not possible. They are just deceived. They're just deceived. How did that happen?
Please, Ronald, thank you so much, Mr. Steve. Now, let's move on to this story because of timing. Right here on Vanguard, I'll go after bad Nigerians. They are in trouble. Tinubu threatens. Now, let's look into the main story. President Bola Tinubu has vowed to ensure that bad Nigerians face the full wrath of the law. Tinubu warned that bad actors, whether within or outside Nigeria, will be brought to justice. The president, represented by National Security Advisor Nuhu Ribadu, spoke at the graduation ceremony of the Executive Intelligence Management Course 17 at the National Institute for Security Studies in Abuja on Saturday. Now, he affirmed his administration's commitment to ensuring security and stability in the country. If you are a bad man, whether you're inside Nigeria or outside, you are in trouble. We will go after you, we will bring you to justice, he declared. Now, also speaking, the Director General of DSS, Adeola Ajayi, stated that Nigeria would not experience security issues if all security agencies work together as they should. He stated that together we can win. The CDS and NSA have driven synergy in a way I have never seen in my career that are detrimental to the livelihood of Nigerians. Are they not bad Nigerians? Good morning. Good morning, your name and where you're calling us from. Mr. John. Go ahead, please.
You come with a clean hand, my brother.
Whether within or outside Nigeria.
Who are the bad people?
Oh my God. Yes, now.
You will tackle first, hey. Inside, those one where they inside Nigeria. Not at all.
Please go ahead.
They are about 440. Now, who can 10 million from their salary, including the president? Add it together. How much is it going to support? Can't you use them as a common problem with the nation?
That is in 1 month too.
Yes, so almost now. Yes, some of people are there.
18 million. How many of you and me and you put together, how many of us will earn 18 million in a month?
Like it's doing it, that's why. If we take away, if Nigeria is supposed to collect 50,000, you walk, you go for. And if Nigeria is collect like that, my brother and sister, try good.
Yes.
Because you not say one end now, 50,000 enter your account.
Yeah.
Now, here I am talking to them, Mr. Belena, you get one small far away, who wants small far for 1 corner. Let's go back to the collect. You understand? Even you don't say,
Only the end time.
I just that you want to forgive the cattle.
Now dead straight, yes. Exactly. Exactly. Go manage 50K, they come, and go manage them.
Every month. But this one, only just a backup. Only just a backup. They will celebrate the food to do this one. The food to do that one. My brother, my baby, if you don't get back, I want to get for a while, but they follow up on this thing. Because at the end of the day, some local government chairman, some of these days they will give. And they don't really give the gun. You know that some people can get gun?
Yes.
This police, civil defense, and army, some of these administration, no need of them would they get our own personal security. Now, if they all these people to the years, then they come to this new terror group where they don't come through. Because you don't already see them force already. Now, the new friend who will come, some of these people, their salary again. Now, and they get what? The police get what? They do crime.
They do crime now, yes.
The army and police are still responsible for this situation again. Nothing to say they are, if they get on what, then they come and secure the country. Because they tell the local government, then they come all these issues. Now, because when the bank are there, who they take to make them? Who they take out? So all this security of the institutions is supposed to suffer. They're supposed to grab us.
Yeah. Thank you.
Each of the states, apply civil defense, apply police, pay them well, send them to those locations, and give them what they give them to just defense command. You understand? And our security agents will tell them, we get airport here, how many times don't you get helicopter they work out for air? They take area.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You know, anytime we say we talk about insecurity, most times we ask the question, you know, who is the backbone? Who is sponsoring? You know, and we, just like I said earlier, we've heard, you know, state governors come out to say that the people who are sponsoring these things are politicians, are security personnel. And coming to, you know, what the president is vowing, if we want to define the bad people or the bad Nigerians or the bad men who are supposed to be in trouble, you know, who should face the full wrath of the law, these are the people.
You know, I don't know, but I see, yeah, they have made a headline. They keep saying all this just to make headlines. But do we see their faces as people who are ready to act? Are they taking the tools, or as in the part of those who are willing to bring changes?
Take for instance, La Corara.
Yes.
When they came newly, how much were they paying people to join them? 1 million naira.
What did government do?
After some time, we're looking at a cow and 500,000 naira. Would you tell me that is an average La Corara member that is bringing out that money to pay? No, it can't be.
Somebody is sponsoring them, we know. And the most
behind the scene.
Most painful part of it is that even the government have, in one way or the other, have taken steps that shows that they even know who is sponsoring these guys.
At some point, they said, "Can you list the names of these people so that Nigerians are aware?"
We know, but nothing will be done.
At some point, some people, there was even rumors that some state governors are involved. A lot of, you know, so, oh my God. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Your name and where you're calling from? Misanze, yes.
People that not people that are sponsoring each church because they will think that they want to do to them. The Nigerian woman and media observation analysis that they protected over 109 billion naira. Initially was to have to pay to and say Yes. Then you know that then you start for the yeah, bad militant, bad member. I don't support them. Some of them are suffering Nigeria. I don't know about Nigeria. I don't know the idea to start Nigeria. We are pushing Nigeria. They're bad person. That's what we Nigeria. You cannot buy anything in the market. Nobody to buy it. Cannot buy it. Most people cannot be. Cannot put down our students. I know the bad person. Let me start from the way start from so. Start from government trend. Before government down. That's our contribution.
Thank you so much, Ms. Danze, for that contribution. Now, hopefully, because this fight against insecurity, I think that the earlier we start calling it a war against insecurity, you know, the better. Because we've not really taken the issue of insecurity seriously. That's why even with the threat of dealing with bad people and making sure that they face the full wrath of the law, people like Lakurawa will still, you know, form more groups because they feel like all of this was these people are saying. I mean, it doesn't hold water.
Talking about bad people, you know, I my first question was, what makes you
a bad person?
Because if you ask me, just like what this our last caller hinted out, there are a lot of people who fall into that category. So if you say you are going after them, let me see.
We're not ready to fight insecurity, Mr. Sele, if you ask me.
We are not ready to fight anything in Nigeria, not just insecurity. This government is the government that came into power,
you know,
when Nigerians came out to vote en masse and were denied their mandate. So what are we fighting? You know, he said, if you are coming to equity, you come with clean hands. So what are you fighting? Who is bad Nigerian? You know, there was I think the former Vice President Osibanjo. There was a time we were talking. You know, he was a pastor in the Redeemed Church before he became a Vice President, and people were expecting him as a pastor on fire. I know what I mean by being on fire. That when he gets there, he will be different. But people were on the long run. There was a time we were having a discussion like this on a platform, and people were like, "What happened? What happened to him?" And you find out that this politician, the moment you step in there, you must do one or two things that even when you want to open your mouth, they will flash you your own page. You keep quiet. So who is bad? Who is not bad? Among our politicians. From your way to primary election in your party, are you sure you don't have records that if they flash to you, you can keep quiet?
Let me tell you when the Nigerian government would have really taken insecurity seriously. It was when these people would go to schools and kidnap innocent children in their numbers and kill some of them.
Nothing happened.
It was one university in Kaduna State. 5 of those children were killed. What was their crime? They went to school to study. We hear that these people have gone into government secondary school and, you know, they've carried children away in their numbers. So look at the children. That you know, that was when I thought that security was going to be handled. There, the government were going to do this to you. If you do this, they've been doing these things. They've been daring the government. These people are bad actors. They are supposed to have, there should be consequences for actions. And severally, Mr. Sele, people have come out to say, we know the hideouts of these people. In fact, sometimes when they come out to share these things and they say, when you visit this kidnappers den or something, that is like normal activities, you know, happening there.
You know, from the body language and the speech of the NSA, it is obvious that this insecurity, they are not seeing it the way you're seeing it. I think we have not had enough insecurity for them to.
We're seeing Lakora putting explosive on roads,
that is
blowing up innocent Nigerians.
How many died?
At what point? my God. At what point is he going to be serious?
How many died? No, just they're not up to 1,000. So they're still they have not threatened us yet.
I don't, regarding insecurity, I think that there's just really one way out, and is focusing on insecurity and fighting it squarely and using state of emergency. All funds, channeling all funds. And now that they've decided to also work with neighboring
yes, this is a time that every effort, all hands should be on deck, hopefully, to put a full stop.
Exactly. Hopefully, they do the needful. They've said that they are working hand in hand to see that Nigerians are able to sleep with their two eyes closed. So hopefully, because they are saying very soon all Nigerians will sleep with their two eyes closed. We're watching and we're praying, because that's one thing we're praying for, and that's like the number one job of every government, to make sure that they protect and safeguard the lives and properties of citizens. If we've not gone to that point in Nigeria, the government is really not doing it.
I said something earlier. Saying what you do and doing what you say.
Two different things.
How now? Let's come. We have taken a story about the Port Harcourt refinery. How will a common Nigerian, as another Nigerian in the streets, trust this government when NNPC cannot even come out to tell us this is what happened during Dangote now? When we don't know how much are you selling crude to Dangote, how much is Dangote selling back the refined products? It was shredded in secrecy. Now, Port Harcourt refinery suddenly woke up from dead because it was not sleeping. So maybe something happened and it resurrected from dead and is now able to work. Yet we don't know
the price.
How much are you selling to Nigerians? What is going on? How many barrels are you producing in a day? It is well.
Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, can you hear me? Are you there? All right, do well to call back 0808-704-1217. 0808-704-1217. That's our call line in case you want to be part of the conversation. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Your name and where you're calling from? Mr. John.
My brother. Yes, I was in Katsina State recently. I was there to visit too, so I traveled. I know those things. Yeah. I'll take forest, won't take growth. Yeah. Yes.
That sometimes when they release these videos that also trend, you go see say the place where they no be even thick forest.
No be thick forest. We don't have thick forest. The highest tree that can grow in this Borno where we are calling Sambisa forest is not up to 2 meters. Togoyaro, not up to 2 meters. Yes. Thick forest. Yes. Exactly. Exactly.
So that everyone when the government will stop that, if you want to stop someone, no lawyer, you will do it this. Everybody will go out and stop. So don't say one person will wake up one and say, this one, which I hate to this one. No forest here, my friend. Never done Bruno before. Me, I don't have a own Katsina, Jigawa, Afar. You understand? No forest.
This one.
All our borders, make the same of social. These are big deals. You know what they do for the outside? They're thinking of
Yes.
yeah, put that case. I was able to get them in that, but that case, they will take.
Then good day. Yes.
You put that, yeah, all you want, so, for that case, that case, every that, you close your case. It's a matter to put the even my other way to expect. You tell me, for all the round of first, then there's yes, yes. Then I wonder what for all your checking points for, not a big to spend. Because my brother follow, my younger brother follow, maybe I could spend. You understand?
Yes.
It's just that only 1 year, 20 people pass like this. So the one what do they call Nigeria for Nigeria to form construction companies?
And yes, that is it. What will it cost? It doesn't cost anything. You know. Exactly. Exactly.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you so
John.
much, my
Thank you. I
brother.
appreciate you, Mr. John. You know,
What-
say
what
even
he said,
this,
very
but no, we read it earlier now. When the governor was saying that the border
borders
is
are
weak. You know, but now we're seeing that they want to join forces with neighboring countries.
Now look at this beautiful idea from John. You know, I keep telling you, we keep bringing beautiful.
Now, let's take this story so we can see if we can end with this story. Now, 2027, no vacancy in Asara until 2031. SGF Akube, this one is on Tribune. Now, Senator George Akube, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, SGF, has advised individuals from the North nursing presidential ambitions to shelve their aspirations until 2031. Akime, a former Benue State governor, stated that President Bola Tinubu, a Southerner, should be allowed to have a second term, implying that there will be no vacancy in Asarek until 2031. Akime specifically questioned former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, the People's Democratic Party presidential candidate in the last general election, seeking the presidency in 2027. Instead, he suggested that Abubakar and other Northerners should wait until 2031. Akim emphasized that President Tinubu's second term is a done deal and it's essential to allow him to complete his tenure. Regarding the controversial tax bills reform, Akim urged critics to support the proposed legislation, assuring them that President Tinubu means well for the country. He explained that the reform bills aim to reposition Nigeria's economy, which has been destroyed by previous administrations. Akim expressed optimism that Nigerians will soon see the positive results of the reforms being implemented. Now, Mr. Sele, I was thinking that it was our job description as Nigerians to say who sits there and who doesn't sit there. No, that's what I was thinking. I thought it was, we're in a democratic era and it's our job to elect our president, our governor. It's our job to say, okay, this person now you go date till 2031, or this person now you go date till 2027. I don't know.
Victory, very, very straight question.
And I was thinking that's how it's
I want
supposed
to
to
ask you a very straight question. Who did you elect in 2023? Just be straight. Who did you elect in 2023?
Oh my God.
So, until you answer the question, I'll come back to you. So, back to Akume.
I don't even know what to say.
What he said is very simple. If while not the president, he was able to win the election in 2023, are you expecting him to give up in 2027 as the sitting president? Whether he performed or whether he performs or he doesn't perform is not your business. It is his right. It is his turn. It is his turn to be the president for the next 8 years. Go and watch his cap.
I don't know how.
There is a cap trending recently.
Yeah.
So that is sending a message. So
in a civilized country, right? The only thing that should allow for a second term is how effective a person was.
It's not in Nigeria. And how
effective a person was, and it is the job of the people to make that decision, not the secretary to the government of the federation.
It's no longer your job.
The secretary to the government, the government of the federation is advising people in the north to shelve their aspiration.
Yes.
Just leave it till 2031.
Whether president performs
or not,
it's
just
not your
keep
business.
your aspiration
Just
somewhere.
keep your aspiration
The
somewhere.
president is
Allow
going
him
to be
have
there
80
till 20.
years.
Oh my
If Nigerians die, if Nigerians are to die within the 80 years, is none of your business.
He's emphasizing that the president's second term is already
safe.
done deal.
So don't even think of going to election polls in 2027.
And we still say that we are in a democratic era, and we still say that it is Nigerian people that have been electing their leaders.
That's why I asked you, who did they elect in 2023?
This is a lot.
So that is it. So look at yesterday, Ghana concluded their presidential election. The ruling party had the sitting vice president as their candidate, and they lost. In fact, the vice president did what His Excellency Ebele Jonathan did when in 2015. He called the opposition candidate and congratulated him even before the election was declared. The result was declared because he wants peace to reign. But this one, come 2027, my advice to Nigerians, to especially young Nigerians like you and I, carry your PVC, go and vote APC. So that there will be no problem.
Because
whether you vote
I don't
or you better sit at home and don't bother yourself. Because whether you vote or you no vote, APC will still win. Their body language is not lying about it. Take it or leave it. Okay, look at what happened in Edo State. If they will
no vacancy.
If they will dethrone PDP in Edo State and all what have you, is it in the presidency that we want to come and dethrone them?
Hello, good morning. Good morning. Your name and where you're calling from? Mr. John.
Mr. John.
Maybe I don't tell and say I don't agree with that.
No, now, but you see what is happening in Edo State.
I don't agree with that for that one.
Yes.
All Nigerians are watching to come out the back and vote. Vote your choice. You understand? Vote your choice. Because as it is now, when people look at why did we feel where we don't achieve for the way it is done for us? You understand? It's nothing. You understand? So my brothers and sisters, Nigerians, when we still come out, all vote as my choice. There is a more vote our mind and God in this sentence will do wonders. The people see that. People see that saying, I went to happen to happen. Now, so it will happen. But I can tell you, and my sister, see, you know the Nigerian, see how you know the Nigerian, and consistent with my grace of God.
Thank you,
Mr.
John. Because
I agree with you. I apologize. I take my statement.
Yes.
But why I said that?
I
it was in sarcastic
in
mode.
a sarcastic, yes.
So why I said that is, we know what happened in 2023. Especially the youth, we turned out. We did what we are supposed to do.
In mass. Even
it was obvious that
came out to say that in the history of
Nigeria,
that this is the first time we have the high number of young people coming out
to vote, and we know who we voted for.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Bright. Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Celestine. Good morning. Yes, so.
Yes, my brother.
You see Nigeria. You know there are giants and giants. You know that saying that we are covering with giants of Africa.
Yeah.
And which are some giants are they? Have you the type of giants of Goliath? Don't swallow it.
Mr. Bright.
Is this,
It's possible.
let me tell you the truth. Do you know that it's not that I started this thing? You know, when the world was trafficking, I'm not thinking, you know, that is the method to keep going on.
Yes, now.
You can do their prayer. And do you know that the fact that we use 29 billion to start three national grid that thing? So what are you thinking? That thing you are thinking, I'm thinking about.
The last one was the 11th one.
Okay, so tablet now.
So there's possibility of it failing again, sir, before we finish Christmas.
You are not thinking the way I'm thinking.
Okay.
When the trend, the music
Eh,
trend,
to start it, yes.
so the more you press,
Mm-hmm.
the more the last,
The more we start it here now, of course.
the more you start it out.
Yes.
So you start to let the kids without thinking.
Okay.
Mr. Bright, we are on this. We know this thing, but what do you do?
Okay, look at man. People are telling they are against the boundary. Companies that have been in Nigeria for 25 years and living in Nigeria.
And living, yes.
Not a small guy.
Small Ghana, yeah. Why would they go to Ghana? Look, watch their election yesterday. That is what a giant should do.
Okay, look at the nation. The nation is big. Someone that is power.
Yes.
I feel like
That this man is winning.
let him win. And you see the people on the street are just as the
Yes.
But for us, there's no vacancy in Asarok until 2031.
If you go to the one area one, you see the president of our president. You see
Mr. Bright,
That
please.
has been there since last year. So
Mr.
I was
Bright,
like,
Mr. Bright, please round up.
you
Our
never
time
enter
not
office.
finish.
You don't do campaign for next time.
Our time not finish. Yes.
and we are here saying that we are dead around here. And in what way somebody has introduced into Nigerian physical, I hope so. I hope that.
Yeah.
Short time. We have another school.
Yes.
So, later,
Yes.
and Kenya people, whether they say it, we are not waiting for you people.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bright. Mr. Sele, please let's just round up for the morning. Your last state.
I don't know. It's the one that took me unaware is the statement of the Secretary to the Federal Government telling us there is no vacancy in the Asarok until 2031. It's not the way to go. We should be actually talking to the president to win the heart of Nigerians to vote him back. I think
That's supposed to be our decision to make.
It's our decision to make.
Supposed to be our decision
Not
to
your
make.
decision as the secretary to the government, not the decision as of the president. It's the decision of the.
If you're
common Nigerian.
aspiring, keep your aspiration to yourself.
Anybody can aspire.
Till
Look at
2031.
Ghana here. Did you not see what happened? Come
well
on,
with us,
we should. I don't. It is well with us.
All this is when they talk say power to the people. I know they say I'm again.
No, it's not. That is why I tell you. Look at. Do we
I
have
don't
INEC?
say
Is INEC working?
Because
Is it
where's
not-
the where's
is it-
the
is it
power
not-
to the people with this statement?
Is it not go to court that ends every election? If INEC is working, why should we go to court? It is well, my dear. God will help us.
End it with God will help us.
Will help us, my dear.
Let's just end this morning's program with God will help us. So that brings us to the end of today's Bright Republic on Bright FM 98.7. Shout out to Mr. Celestine. Thank you so much for your insights and thoughts this morning. To all of our callers, Mr. Abdallah from Bari, Mr. Uze, thank you so much. Mr. John from Butaka. He called us several times today and we appreciate that. Thank you so much. Mr. Steve from Duce and Mr. Bright, our last caller for the morning. Thank you so much. To our listener at home, we appreciate you for always finding time to listen to us. Thank you so much one more time. Please do not touch your radio because it will be of sports. We'll be taking over next to give you all of the latest on the world of sports. Please make sure that you're preparing very effectively for your Christmas season.
24/7 Christmas music. Halloween was yesterday. Christmas!
Christmas music.